Welcome back to session 2 of the Above the Noise Coaching Moments. I really appreciate you taking the time to prepare for your role as a small group host. And if your group is rotating host and you're hosting for the very first time, good for you. God's going to be with you as you get ready and during the group time as well. So this short video is going to give you the help that you need to prepare for your group. Now, if you did the opening chair exercise in session 1, there may be some new people that are going to be joining you this week. Just make a point of welcoming them, and when the meeting starts, ask them to introduce themselves and say how they heard about the group, maybe who invited them. Now, have the returning members also introduce themselves by sharing their name and one thing they got out of last week's meeting. This really is a great way to easily give new people a bunch of good reasons why they should stay in the group. Also, be sure to remind your group about the open chair at the end of this meeting. Jesus wants us all to have the same heart that he has for people who aren't connected to God and connected to his family. So I want you to continue thinking and praying about others who might be willing to join the group because it's not too late. Now, you may be thinking, we've already have 7 or 8 people, maybe 11 or 12. We don't have any more space in our living room. But let me tell you that there's a solution. It's called subgrouping. And that means instead of making maybe one big circle for the whole meeting, you have people gather in smaller circles, maybe 3, 4, 5, after the teaching segment. You can have 2 circles in the living room, or one can go in the dining room or in another room, or if you're in a coffee shop, another part there. All right, wherever you're meeting, all right, wherever you're holding your group, just break off. Make sure it's smaller groups where they can discuss. Now, if you have a large group, but you don't want a subgroup for the small group time, you may just want to do it at least during the prayer time so people can share more. Subgrouping into smaller groups for prayer really can help make sure that the quiet people will be more willing to share at that time. After all, when people feel heard, they feel loved. And when they feel loved, they're much more likely to come back. And if they're in a circle of 15 people and they're not heard, they're probably not going to come back. So, whatever setting you think would work best for your group, you're going to want to make sure that people feel comfortable sharing about prayer needs that they may have. Now, next, I want to talk about ways to involve more people in owning the group. And one is the prayer and praise sheet in the back of your study guide. So you can ask for a volunteer to keep track of the group's prayer requests and answers to prayer. If you're going to subgroup into smaller circles for prayer, simply have one person and each pass the circle's prayer requests around and see who's keeping track of the whole sheet for the group. That way, everybody knows what's happening with everybody else in the group. But you can pray in smaller circles. It really helps bring unity in the group. Now, a second way to involve people is to ask for a couple of volunteers to plan a group social. This might be a potluck meal, a night out at a restaurant, a barbecue with everybody's kids joining in. All right, who are the group members who love to throw parties? Tap them on the shoulder and get them to plan it. The final thing I'd like you to do is be willing to pass the baton to another person to host the next meeting. This is a great way for you to see the study through the eyes of people who have a different mix of gifts. And it'll also push their growth into fast forward as they step up and as they meet the challenge. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for listening. And remember, pray for yourself and pray for your group as you prepare. And I want you to let you know that God is listening. Have a great group, and we're praying for you.